So hello, my name is Shaquilla Boyce, and I'm currently an intern at the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston through the Year Up program, which is a one-year job training program for young adults and teens. In the year 2000, over 50% of all the teens in the state of Massachusetts were employed. By 2013, the teen employment rate had dropped to 27%. Less than 30% of all Massachusetts high school students participate in any kind of structured career development opportunity before they graduate. As a teen in Massachusetts that was unemployed for almost 2 years, I would like to know, how do you plan to increase the teen employment? And aside from employment, how do you plan to go about implementing and spreading awareness about career training programs that are proven to be effective in lowering the teen unemployment rate to better connect young adults to education, training, and careers?
Excellent. Jeff McCormick starts this round.
When it comes to teen unemployment, clearly, when you look at the numbers, youth development is the only place that we've added more money, and yet I don't see the results. Because when I talk to teens, it's exactly what you're saying. They just can't find work anywhere. And I think we need to do some of the things that we've heard tonight. We need to copy other programs. We need to look at what Germany is doing in employing people and also their apprentice programs. In Scandinavia, they've got some amazing programs. In Virginia, by the way, they've got some terrific programs, which I think that we need to fully explore. It is particularly difficult, though, because of the lack of skills. So it will be extremely helpful if we can pull the whole system up at the same time to get people into the jobs that are going unfilled, which then creates a void in a prior job, and it's a bit of a daisy chain. And what we're seeing is essentially kind of a traffic jam sort of effect, and it's building year after year after year. And this is where government plays a major role. We've got to study this. This did not happen overnight, by the way. We have to be proactive, and you have to get ahead of it. That's why I said earlier we have to look at the entire education system as a continuum.
Don Berwick.
My general approach to improvement through my career has been to assume that the problem you're facing, somebody else has faced and maybe knows something you don't. Someone once said, the one thing for sure, no insult to you, is that most of the smart people in the world are not in this room. And so you should search widely. Shaquilla, this is a great story. There are programs all over the world and in the Commonwealth and in the nation, just like your own Year Up, that have shown tremendous successes in what they can achieve. For the Year Up program that Shaquilla is in, the graduates of that program have a 100% rate of placement in internships after they complete that program with an average income of $15 an hour. We can build on best practices. It means investment, capital from government, the ability to do public-private partnerships that really do work. I agree with Steve about paid internships. I would have 10,000 paid internships in this Commonwealth, 5,000 in the private sector, 5,000 in the public sector, and I would work with in partnership with industry to create even more such opportunities to enter the workforce.
Evan Falchuk.
There's been plenty of research done, and there's plenty of knowledge as to what kinds of things work. And there's also been plenty of nice words about the fact that these things need to be done, but the funding isn't there. The work that was done in the preparation materials that was sent, the recommendations for the next governor by organizations, is terrific, and it lays out a very, very thoughtful plan. And what is interesting about it is that we're not talking about spending billions of dollars in order to do this. So the proposal was $5.6 million for school to career connecting activities. These are things that are going on in 125 schools across the Commonwealth out of 265 public high schools. Doubling that capacity would have cost the $5.6 million. That didn't happen. That would add 20,000 more opportunities for teens to get work. So what it comes down to, again, like with so many of these issues, is we know what needs to be done. The question is, why aren't the people that we elect doing it? And my suggestion, humbly, is that the only way it will change is if we start to elect lots of new people who are coming to this issue with the seriousness with which it deserves to be treated.
Teen unemployment, Martha Coakley.
Yeah, thanks, Shaquilla, and good luck. You're in a great program, and you obviously have a lot of opportunities ahead of you. I've seen how that works and how hard everybody works. But it's limited, and we need to do more. I mentioned many of the jobs that we used to get coming out are now taken by full-time for people whose families live on those jobs, and being able to get into our Voc Tech schools, I think. And one of the things I've learned is that many of our Voc Tech schools have become so competitive, parents want their kids to go there. We now have a group of students who can't get into the Voc Tech schools, and we have to look at ways we provide good education for them. I also believe that is the foundation in this, aligning what we want for our workforce and for our grade schools and our high schools and our Voc Tech schools, means that we should be doing better with guidance counselors who work in the schools to say, make sure kids are getting the right experience and courses, and the externships and internships that give people experience. Our Voc Tech schools do that. The kids will work in early daycare. They will be working down the street in precision manufacturing. One young man had a 4-year scholarship to Bucknell based on his work in the Voc Tech school. Those are ways that you get that hands-on. The state has to be a much better partner in all of our education to give guidance counseling and externs and internships for students.
Steve Grossman.
So we can go to Germany and Switzerland and look for interesting and exciting models, but we can also stay right here and look at best practices. I mentioned earlier Shawsheen, which is in Billerica. I could mention Neshoba Valley Tech. I gave the commencement address or the graduation talk at both of those schools, one on a Friday night, one on a Saturday. I got there early and spent some time with the kids. And I said, tell me about your prospects for employment. Many of them already had jobs. Large numbers of them had jobs because they had been prepared. The co-op or internship programs they had were dramatic and had a dramatic impact on their lives. Second, financial education and financial literacy. As treasurer, I oversee the Office of Financial Education, and because I knew that we would never have enough money, I asked the legislature to create something called a Financial Literacy Trust Fund, which they did. We're raising money from the private sector to put to work because I believe that no high school student should graduate in Massachusetts without some basic financial education and financial literacy. We're in the middle of a pilot program now, 11 high schools and 10 gateway communities. I hope to take it statewide as your next governor.